Rejuvenation in you.
Rejuvenation in you.
To rejuvenate means to make young or youthful again, to give new vigor to. So, then I had to look up what vigor means.
Right.
And vigor is the effort, energy, enthusiasm, physical strength, and good health. To rejuvenate is to restore to an original or new state, as in rejuvenating old cars. Talk to us a little bit about your rejuvenation and why you chose that as the title for your latest project.
Sure. So I definitely looked it up too. Looked up Rejuvenation in You. I was more leaning towards the definition of like restoration, returning to that youthful state, returning to that flow, and that's what it's been about for me. As I was saying before, like the goal for me is to ensure that the music is as true as the person. Sometimes that's why the music take a minute to come out. Sometimes too, because it's a matter of growing with the music. Like I need to be one with that process. The music will be even better in the future because I'm gonna be even better. You know what I mean? The music wasn't as great in the past because I wasn't as great in the past. You know what I mean? So it's like it's all synced up for me.
Okay. So and, on your way, I'm sorry.
Nah, I was really gonna say so. That was the point of, but Rejuvenation, like this particular project, it's been about spiritual growth more than anything, right? Returning to the healthiest place spiritually and growing in my spirituality too. But of course that coincides with just like, mental and physical growth, trying to get a little more healthy, peace protecting, and getting shit done.
Yeah.
Getting to it in all ways.
Get into it. What's the song? What's the TikTok song?
What?
It's like a Doja Cat song. Get into it. Is it called Doja Cat? Is it called Doja Cat?
I don't know.
Right. We're just so old.
Shout out to her, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't familiar.
I just had this song like Get Into It or whatever. Okay. You heard it on Instagram? Okay, anyway. Moving right along. Talking about the themes throughout the album, themes of consistency, of growth, of discipline, of balance. Like you said, the process of rejuvenation. So moving through, and you said the point is to be better, right?
For sure.
So from your last project, your older projects, to this new project, can you tell us what sets this project apart from your older project?
Definitely. It's the intentionality of the process. I was a little more slow with this process, not as slow as it should be though. Me and my engineer talk about it all the time. Like I could be even more delicate with the process. I usually come in the studio and I'm ready. Like I done already kind of memorized the tracks. Usually, I'm going in there and I'm knocking out shit, right? But it's a different. You can still be as prepared, but still handle it with delicacy. A lot of times for me, this go around, it was about just like a lack of funds. I came up on a job towards the end of the project and shit, and so when I did have the bread to like go in the studio and make it happen, I had to go and utilize the time. You feel me? So I might be knocking out like 5 tracks in a day and then having to go back to do the mixing and mastering. So just the delicacy, the intentionality of ensuring that I was growing with the music, that I was one with the music, you know what I mean, that I was rejuvenating. But that's going to be the title, you know what I mean. I feel like you got to, like I said before, like walk the talk. That's what it come down to. And that's what I pride myself on, and that's what I wanted like this to be. That's what I wanted this to feel like in a way. You know what I mean? Of course, like it's rejuvenation in you, so it's rejuvenating for me to come to a state of rejuvenation for self, but also for any intimate fashion, for relationships in general though, because I don't even got to be intimate, right? But just for overall healthier connections, healthy connections. You know what I mean?
And it can be intimate, but it doesn't have to be romantic. Because you can have intimate familial relationships or intimate platonic relationships, you know? So it doesn't have to be like romantic.
Facts. But in this sense, I guess when you
got a little romance on this project,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got the grown and sexy on here, though.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
It's very full, though, because like you said before, you got the trap beats, you got the smooth, like, poetic, you literally just reciting your poetry over the music, and then you also have, like, I keep wanting to put, your live woman's
grace.
Yes, on the album. So when I heard it on the album, it was the first time that I heard the album version. Obviously, the first version that I heard was the live version.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is a little bit different. This is a little bit different, but still, it has that poetic, melodic like feel.
Got you. And we battled with that too, because when we did it, the engineer was like, "Yo, I recorded it so that way it could like we have a cut like an audio cut that you could put on there if you want to. I can add it to like a deluxe version or something like that. So that was still in the talks.
Please
it could
put
be
it on the
still
deluxe.
in the talks. Like even if it's gonna be a deluxe, it might not be. But
why would it?
I feel like that the live take could have been like even better than it was, and that would be my hesitation about putting it like on a deluxe if that's what we did.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So
from a listener and a viewer, a supporter, and a fan perspective, I want you to put it on an album.
Respect,
I don't know why it's not on an album.
We'll see what's up.
It was
it's
like
possible.
so. Okay, so this was like a later question, but since we're right here right now, we're gonna go right here right now, right?
Talk about it.
Because you have the two visuals, right? You gave us the real grown and sexy video, you know, and then you also gave us a visual for the live acoustic. Well, you had the acoustic, the electric, and the drums, but the live take of that nonetheless. What other visuals do we have coming from this project? Are there any in the works?
We definitely cooking something up.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if we should. Hopefully, we trying to cook something up.
Okay.
The brainstorming. We
can't expect more visuals.
Definitely, it's definitely about to be one that comes out. It's just confirming, solidifying the idea. You know
You're gonna do? Can you do like? This is where we solidify the idea.
So this is McDonald's now. This is McDonald's.
It's Burger King. I want it my way.
What's up?
Like, you know how people will do a whole little short story, like a short film, but it's like each of the songs of the album, and it's one cohesive like little mini movie. Would you do something like that, or you want different themes and vibes for each video?
So I would have definitely. I mean, it's something that I'm open to, and it's something that like we definitely plan to do. The reality of that is, in order for it to meet my quality standard, it's not the time for it. Like we don't have. Not that we don't have. We could create whatever resources that we need to make it happen, but I don't want to just make it happen. You know what I mean? I want it to happen like the way it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, and I don't think it's that time yet.
Like honoring the creative process.
For sure.
So even in the curation, so we have recorded the interview. This is a whole different interview. That's okay. Just go with the flow. But how do you do that when you want to put a project out and you got the fire tracks and you're really proud of it and you worked really hard of it and you want to share it? How do you still, as a creative, and for other creatives who may be watching, how do you honor that process for yourself and not rush it? It's like, I'm thinking of You the Party, right? So this is taking us a whole different spectrum of this. But you're thinking about the slow, sensual strokes. You know, you can't get in there and sometimes you got to get in there and work. You can't rush it, right? So for this process, though, what was that like for you? How were you able to contain yourself? Or is that a problem that you run into when you are creating?
It definitely is. I've been, part of my rejuvenation has been being less impulsive, not being impulsive at all, pretty much. But when you just have that creative fire, you just want to do, you just want to put out. But it's being more mature in my thinking of like what I want the outcome to be.
Long term.
You know what I'm saying? Thinking long term. Like that forward thinking. When you thinking forward, you allow yourself to you allow it to work out the way it needs to. Like be more one with that flow. Like we was mentioning, them two whirlpools. You have a whirlpool where you in the flow of a system. You have a whirlpool where you in the flow of universal natural law. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to rejuvenate to be more in that whirlpool. And the more that I'm there and I'm flowing with shit, right? The more things happen the way they're supposed to. And the less impulsive I am, the less control I feel like I need to have. It's a difference between being proactive, so you having somewhat of control of outcomes, and being too hands-on to the point to where you manipulating a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just reminding myself of that. But it's been a fucking process.
Yeah.
It's not no easy shit. I'll say that for sure. It's not easy, but that's the point of rejuvenating, right? Like the process, it ain't supposed to be smooth. Like not that it can't have some smooth parts, but like what's life without a little bit of challenge? You know what I mean? It's balance. So
it's like the difference between slow cooked food and going to the fast food restaurant.
Simple as that, yeah.
You complain every time you go to McDonald's that you're still there because it's quick, you know.
For sure.
Not a lot of people still have the wherewithal or the will. I feel like a lot of it is the will, your willpower, that focus of your energy, your intention to be able to be in the kitchen for a long time.
Right.
Or to not be in the kitchen for a long time because you need to let it sit and not be watching over
Simple
it, right?
as that.
But yeah, wow. Okay, so let's get to the question.
Crazy.
Talking to us about themes, talking to us about lessons. Okay?
You know,
put it on the slow cooker before work and just go to work. Okay?
And just
when
chill.
You come home, it's like fall off the bone. We don't need meat, but you know.
Yeah,
still,
facts.
It's that
For
tender.
those who do, you know what I mean? But even in that sense, like, you know, our boss talk about it all the time, you know, when it comes to the food. Shout out Sunburgers, Vegan Cuisine, you know what I mean? Yeah, like sometimes people have to be patient for the food. That don't mean take all day on the, you know,
and drag your feet, yeah, because you're still diligent in the
process of making it happen. But it does mean, what it really means is putting love into it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the love is not gonna be fast. Mm-hmm. That come back down to the slow stroke. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to be intentional about the experience. Mm-hmm. You know.
Nice and
slow. Facts.
I feel you. Something you said made me think of something else, and then I forgot. Oh, the thoughts they come and they go. Oh, so we're talking about the different lessons, the different themes. What was the most impactful lesson that you've learned, and how are you able to integrate that? So we're going from conceptualization, and we can think about, anyway, we think going from conceptualization in theory into implementation in action, right? So what was the lesson, and how did you find yourself integrating that lesson into how you were able to bring forth this project, or just your life during the time that you were creating this project?
Right. As we mentioned before, it's definitely the self-talk, the mindfulness. The lesson was that the outcomes from impulsiveness, right? Mm-hmm. Things being rushed, not happening exactly the way I see it, not happening the way it should, right? And putting it into action to have a better outcome was definitely the self-talk again of like reminding myself to be patient, mm-hmm. right? Looking at others and seeing the patience that they exemplify, you know what I mean? So just learning from each other, like what's this shit without being able to like learn from somebody mm-hmm. else, right? You get it from somewhere and you pass it along. And so the self-talk is the biggest thing though. Just intentionality, discipline, mm-hmm. you know what I mean? Like we talked about just saying like, I'm gonna take my ass to the gym today, you mm-hmm. feel me? Like this is not only helping me physically, it's helping me mentally. It's allowing me to have some spiritual discipline.
Would you call it before cost benefit analysis?
Yeah. So from a business standpoint, like I kind of like minoring in business a little bit, right? And I remember cost benefit analysis, right? Mm-hmm. Understanding like what does it cost to get what you need to get out of the situation. Mm-hmm. Like if you looking at the end goal of like what you're trying to get to,
the benefit.
Yeah, right. If you're trying to get to the benefit, you're gonna have to pay what that cost is. Mm-hmm. Like it's in most situations, and you can't be afraid to pay that cost either. Mm-hmm. You have to have the faith that like this is gonna come back tenfold, mm-hmm. and it's not even worried about what's gonna come back though. Like, and that's probably been one of the biggest things too. Not being worried at all, right? Going with the flow, that natural state, but also not being so money worried in general. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that I am, but we have to be realistic about what life is.
Yeah, it's
still
hard
got bills,
not to be.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas still got bills. Still got more debt than I need to have. Yeah. Still got shit to pay for creatively and personally.
Still got to eat every day. Still got to get gas in the car.
Exactly. And so it's still though just eliminating the worry. But I can eliminate the worry when I'm proactive.
Planning.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. When I'm planning. When I'm focusing on the little steps though too. Mm-hmm. Like I know what the big picture is, but when I'm being intentional about the little step that it takes to get there, just to the next step, not even that it takes to get to the main goal, because that's already planned out. You already manifest, you know, it's already manifested. But you still got to put in the work for the little steps.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like meal planning, right?
Right.
And how, for me, it's like I do not want to use my Sunday afternoon cooking a bunch of fucking food. I don't want to do it, right?
I feel that.
But thinking about the benefit of one, the planning. Now I'm not. Oh, it's after work, I'm hungry, I don't feel like cooking, and now I'm forcing myself to go spend some money when I could have just, you know, like made the provision, right? Because of the cost, and assessing and analyzing that initial cost. What is it worth to me? Parts that I couldn't control, because I was hyper-focused on the cost, because I was whatever the fuck, but I wasn't, this is the desire, this is the benefit. Mm-hmm. And oh, how sweet when I'm able to experience the benefit, when I'm able to embody the benefit, or what have you. But I forgot where I was going. I was like, damn, I really want to smoke. Because I just stopped smoking. So when I was just talking about how much I was smoking, I was like, I can really go for a blunt right now. But that's the important
like that, because you still got to be gentle with yourself.
That's the important.
You got to be gentle with yourself.
Not in an enabling way, though. Because it's not like, okay, I want to smoke, and so now I'm going to smoke a little bit. No, I still don't want to, because I still want to detox, and I still want the clear mind, because the benefit is...
But that self-talk got to be there to remind self that that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That I am, but it's also the accountability that I am enabling myself, and I am fucking up right now. But this is me reassuring myself of what I do want. Mm-hmm. And like, but I think that's a constant, like, that's an everyday progress for all of us, like, to just trying to be more intentional about self-talk too, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I'm feeling. Like, never really there. And you're just always trying to get to it.
You're always there, though, because the only place we really are is here.
Facts.
All you are ever is here. There. Whatever the fuck.
For sure.
But being able to see the whole thing, though, I think that's where I was going.
Right.
I was too hyper-focused on the outside things that I went too far inside, and I disassociated myself from the world, and then coming back out, it's like, oh wait, it's not as scary as I thought it was, or it's not as whatever as I thought it was, and oh, I really was putting in that work, so I can trust myself not to be as tempted as I was, or easily distracted as I was before.
Exactly.
Being able to harmoniously integrate not just within myself, but back into, life, the world, and then the perspective of like, I don't know what's going on with my brain right now. I'm like, I don't know if I'm distracted by the leaves or like what, but like every time I see leaves fall, I'm like in a trance and I don't know what I'm talking about. What's your name?
DamarTheEmcee.
Okay.
Yeah. Charlotte, hip hop artist, songwriter, poet.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Just throw that out there.
Okay.
Throw that in there.
In case you didn't know, now you know.
You know what I mean? Now you know. If you don't know, now you know. That's fine. This was necessary. Let them go with the flow.
But the part is, I really do wish that I knew what I was thinking about. No, I think that's the comfortable close too, because I think it's like 20.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, so I asked me comfortable close. Where can the people find you, and where can we experience more of you? Any upcoming local performances? What's coming? What's coming in the near future, like before 2022, and what can we expect? The projection for 2022.
We definitely trying to we definitely are, you know what I'm saying?
I like
Let
that.
me be intentional.
I like that.
We definitely are getting more performances in line. Hopefully at the end of November we'll be in Greensboro with it.
Mm-hmm.
December back in Charlotte with it. Nothing is like set in stone, so that's why I'm not like, it's not like location or dates.
Mm-hmm.
But so Greensboro end of November, definitely Charlotte, December. Hopefully we'll align with some other artists that I'm fucking with that's putting out some dope shit right now to get like a little mini like concert type shit going on. You know what I mean? A little showcase going on. And then, but right now just open to opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully in the works, hopping on somebody's tour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so we just
headlining your own tour.
That too.
I mean,
but I'm also realistic, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Headlining my own tour. If we're talking about 2022,
that's
you know
what
I mean? You know what I mean? Maybe so. Okay. But I'm also realistic.
Around this time next year, perhaps.
Talk about it.
You never know.
About it. I'm gonna snap to that. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm gonna snap to that. But right now we just being faithful in the process of the plans that we do got. And but I definitely be performing though. Definitely performing. Okay. I need to do that more anyway. I'm trying to share this.
But you performing this week, tomorrow.
Facts, actually, yeah. We're red.
Talking about the end of December. What about tomorrow? What about the week?
Well, I don't know when it's dropping. Like people might not be able to pull up. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? Why not?
I'm saying.
Oh, this is. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like shit. By the time you see this, niggas gonna be like already.
So he would have performed, right?
Yeah,
so this is probably gonna come next Tuesday. Yeah, but if you are going, Reds is every Wednesday. So Damari's gonna be performing at Reds on Wednesday. There's an open mic. Shout out Superman the Poet. Who hosts that space. Shout out Red 28
and come out there, yeah, because I'm coming back, so not just this Wednesday, but I'll be back.
Okay, right. That's what I'm saying. It's every Wednesday. You're going to fly back through. You know, it's a couple different mics that are open in the area.
Facts. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that's doing it. That's the one thing I do want to say. Like, shout out to everybody who's been making a way for creatives in general. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the creatives that's been making a way. Shout out to the supporters who just pulling up to just see what's up. it's beautiful. Charlotte has already been on this way to like being more inclusive for each other, but I think it's like happening by a landslide now, and but you got to keep the gas on, keep it going. It's super dope. So shout out to everybody doing their thing, opening up avenues, making it possible. Shit dope as fuck.
If you had to describe your album in one word that isn't rejuvenation, what would it be?
Flow. I was hesitating for trying to figure it out, but I'm gonna say flow. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna say too much, even though I'm saying more. I'm gonna say really flow. Yeah.
And we'll just pause so we can listen to that flow that is occurring off in the distance.
Right. Yeah.
And just allow that sound, that water, that presence to permeate your being, your life, your mind.
Sun peeking through the leaves, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Don't look out there too much. You might get distracted. I don't know what was happening to me. What portals are open? I feel like I'm...
I don't know. I'm solid over
here.
Between
spaces.
I can't speak for you. I'm solid over here. I'm solid.
You don't see it? You don't get it?
Nah, I peek for sure.
He's like more grounded than me. I don't know. It's not about comparison, though.
Yeah, hell nah. Definitely not. We all figuring this shit out, man. We in the same whirlpool, you know what I'm saying? We in the flow.
Exactly, the divine flow. So thank you for your patience, bringing this through.
I appreciate you. Like I said, like you part of the people that's like making this shit happen the way it's supposed to. So it's only up for the both of us. Definitely for you. Definitely for me. Definitely for us, though. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
and
for
everybody
you.
else. Definitely
if you
for
choose
you.
it.
If you choose it, yeah.
Every day.
Facts. Appreciate
Go listen to the project. Oh, but wait, because there's something really exciting.
What?
And it's you were saying the different places that you would be, could be, might be.
Right.
But if you gonna be there, a nice, sleek, new space that they can get that information is.
For sure, yeah. Definitely, you can go to the website DamarTheEmcee.com. So we there. Link in bio on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
It's DamarTheEmcee as well.
Okay.
So the website and the social media is the same thing. It's just DamarTheEmcee. DamarTheEmcee, you know what I mean?
No
but
special.
.com, nothing special. It's nothing extra to it. You know, DamarTheEmcee. I hate when people spell this shit out, though.
And then it's like, wait, what?
I know, right? And you say it all fast. I'm like, damn, I gotta rewind.
And if you're watching this, it's probably right there below. It's already spelled out for you. And the link is probably below that, so you could just click it. You know, we got you covered. But thank you, Damari, for sharing the time with us today. If you haven't, what you say?
Oh, I was about to say, and if you are crazy enough to change the world, we do got the merch for you too.
Oh, bet.
So tap
Big
in,
bet.
you know what I mean?
Website as well.
On the website, you know what I mean? All you gotta do is put in your information. You'll get a confirmation email back. I'll send you an invoice to like get the purchase center and everything kickstarted, and we'll get that to you. Whether I pull up on you to deliver it or ship it to you, whatever you choose.
Whatever you choose. If you local, slide in the DMs. You know, maybe you could bypass the ordering. But no, if you have it in place, you know, do the order through there. But
either way,
if you local, you could get dropped off.
DamarTheEmcee.com shows, merch, music, the album, Rejuvenation U, more music to come, all of that. What's up?
Okay, stop it.
You stopping it?
Yes.
She said stop it. We still going.
I felt like that was a really good close. What else I'm gonna say? It's over. It's over. Just make it stop. One, the planning. Now I'm not, oh, it's after work, I'm hungry, I don't feel like cooking, and now I'm forcing myself to go spend some money when I could have just, you know, like made the provision, right? Because of the cost of assessing and analyzing that initial cost. What is it worth to me? How much do I really want to save money? How much do I really want to eat better? How much do I really want to get it? You know?
Self-talk, self-reflection, like self-reflection is some deep ass shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's but it's real.
And it's so valuable.
Right.
Just knowing yourself. Like
knowing that you got choice. And knowing that your choices cause domino effects. And
that you are the keeper of those choices. You are the maker of those choices.
Right.
Not playing the blame game, not claiming victim, like you said earlier.
Owning that shit.
Owning it. It's
accountability,
yours.
Man.
Nobody else's. Man, it should have on nobody.
For real.
In that. No, but really, Really. And it's beautiful. The good, the bad, the ugly. You know, we see the leaves falling on the ground. We don't say, oh, these trees are pathetic. Because they're releasing and letting go. Because they're going with the ebbs and the flows. They were way... Some people may, though. You may come in here with somebody and they be like, oh, these trees are way more beautiful in the summertime. Yeah, maybe you were at your peak in college. Fall, though, You're not there no more, right? This is the fall now. Yeah. Your leaves is falling. What, you gonna try to glue them back on you? You look crazy.
And the wild thing is that, but it's dips though. It's ups and downs, right? So it's gonna be summer again, and then what you want to see, you're gonna get to see it again. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
That shit crazy.
Right. Oh wow.
I feel that though.
The process though. It's the process.
You gotta fall in love with it. Mm-hmm. You gotta fall in love with it.
Mm-hmm. Or you can be so sick of it that you create a new process for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not in love with the process, it's not forcing somebody to be like, no, you need to love that shit. No, that shit's not working for you. You need to do something else because this process is not serving you anymore. You know, you need a new process.
That's facts. That's definitely yeah. Because when you said it, I'm thinking about just like when it comes to like relationships and shit too. Though it's the same shit, but we don't gotta even dive too much into that.
Listen, get there, go there, be there. We here.
Yeah, facts. But it's the same shit.
Because that's the thing about self-awareness, right? And that's why I love to learn about myself through other people. Because I might not be... That's what we're here for, honestly. Reflections. But I might not be in the certain situation, but if I see somebody else in a situation, all right, boom. So I'm learning myself, and I know that I got a temper, I got an attitude, or whatever. Yeah. And I'm being more intentional and mindful about my attitude, because my attitude back in the day used to be so flippant and so crazy, right? So now I don't really have that. I don't have that same hot head. But there are certain situations that could trigger that. I just am managing it better now. It's not that it's not there.
Tell me about
I'm just managing it better.
Just so I know, you remember that conversation we was having in the van on the way one day? Don't forget it, but I feel you. You know
when you was talking about your voice, how you don't want to be yelling, but sometimes you have to be.
That was a domino effect to what the conversation was in general. But just something as simple as that, though, right? It's like being more mindful of the power that you do have, because it's not necessarily a terrible thing to be what's called aggressive, because really that's really like passion is mistaken for aggression a lot, right? Like I can when I'm performing, right, the tone of my voice changes dramatically from when I'm just having conversation. But that's because of the passion of what I'm doing, and like this is probably like the truest part of me right here, right? But I'm also very aware of that passion when I'm in certain situations, because I know how easily it can be mistaken. And then now you got to go through this process of explaining, like, nah, it's not that, but niggas ain't doing a whole lot of explaining. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas not doing all that. Niggas don't even want to fight, they want to shoot.
True. But even in the sense of just like when it don't got to get to that, and me just having to explain that it's not what you think, though. You know what I mean? I ain't even on that shit no more.
But being able to manage yourself so that you don't have to do that aftercare. You don't have to clean up the mess you made because you didn't make the mess.
You didn't make the mess.
But then like...
Well, you can just not give a fuck at all.
Yeah, I made the mess.
Some people live like that, too.
Yeah, and but then that's how you get that bad juju, though. That's how you get the karma, because now you got a kid that's terrorizing you. You wonder why. You terrorize everybody else. But that's for me in this experience, like working with kids, okay, yeah, I know how to manage my attitude or whatever, but there's sometimes when I'm face to face with these students and I'm like, I can't be like, oh, you lucky I don't got an attitude I used to have no more, I'll black on you, or you lucky I can't go to their level, and they're not managing, they don't have the skills and resources to manage, so I can't take my skills away, and now we both acting crazy.
But you've rejuvenated.
Because of the rejuvenation, because of the self-awareness, I'm able to sit here and be here in this space and not the other. You feel me?
That's real.
Because when you get to know all the different parts of yourself, because I could have been like, oh, I got a bad attitude, people call me a bitch. I'm going to just be a bitch and I'm going to identify as that, and that's just who I'm going to be. Or I could be like, oh, no, I'm not going to be assertive at all. I'm not going to be passionate at all. I'm going to be a doormat. You know what I mean? You could take it different ways. But when you're able to... choose based on your awareness of yourself and what you truly desire. I don't desire to be either or. I want this. So that cost benefit analysis, I'm willing to bite my tongue right now in this conversation because I don't want to go to jail.
Gotta know when. It's important.
Timing. Divine timing. Perfect timing.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites on there too, though. Perfect timing. Yeah.
Drop us a line. Drop us a line from perfect timing.
I don't got nothing.
Like, what is your favorite?
It is. I mean, it's one of my favorite tracks.
Just
But when you say it, it's like, damn, like, threw me off right there.
Yeah, I was saying that I put him on the spot.
You put me on the spot.
Okay, so I guess I shouldn't ask
First
you
line.
What's the second line?
I don't
Third.
know.
The third stands the second line.
Right.
So I guess I shouldn't ask you to recite any part of the poem that is at the ends of, tell me the name of the song. Is it
Gullah Baby?
Is that what the poem is at the end? And it's like the most inspirational shit that I want to listen to every single day. I told you I was crying all rising. I'm listening to that on my way here though, and it's like before that I feel like, where are the tears coming from? They just won't stop. But while listening to that, it's like,
damn, that's real.
Like, all right, bet, you know, yeah, this is what I'm feeling right now. Yeah, these are emotions, but I'm gonna keep going though.
I'm gonna keep going.
I'm gonna keep going.
Because you got to do that regardless.
Wait, so is it not the time to ask you to recite any part of it? You want to put you on the spot? You want to think about it and come back to it? Just because I think that's extremely powerful.
I can't, like, say I can pull anything right now. Not that I can't, but I think the most important part of that is the end, where I'm saying high self. Like, this is high self talking to you, dog. And obviously, to even write that, I had to tap into high self. So it's like, you already be knowing what you got to do, right? The intuitive self is already letting you know what the fuck got to be done. But it's like, what you gonna do to make it happen? It's the action that's behind it. And I think, literally the most important part of that whole shit is me saying high self. Like, this is from me to you, to where you at right now. This is the shit that you need to do to get here. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's nothing outside of you, nothing external, separate from yourself. It is you.
It is you.
Because it can get lonely out here. It can get real lonely. You could feel like, you know, your parents don't understand you, your partner don't understand you, your friends, you had to distance yourself, whatever. So it's so important to have that connection and to honor that connection. Because like you were saying earlier when you first got here, you had the intuitive feeling to get up and go to the gym when you had the feeling to get up and go to the gym. Right. But what choices are you making based on what that intuition is telling you? And the timing is important too.
And I'm about to say, in the timing of making that decision, because it can throw shit off. You know what I mean? So
imagine you were supposed to go to the gym, right? When you first got the feeling. Right. And then you didn't, right? You laid around, you had to check the Instagram, whatever. And then you finally got up and you went, and as you was coming out, it was somebody coming, or as you was going in, it was somebody coming out the gym who was finishing their workup that you were supposed to connect with. Your baby mama was in there, your future wife. Shit. You walked past her, you held the door for her, but you were supposed to connect with her.
When I went in this morning, I don't think so, but maybe.
So I didn't. That's because she left. That's because she was done with her
so look, don't even know. I can't even confirm for real. Nigga can't even really confirm because I ain't taking my ass to the gym.
Because you did go when you knew you was in it.
Slacking.
But a different, like, this is the timing conversation, but looking at it a different way is like when it's just you, right? And you like, for me, I'm like, okay, I should have, or I had the opportunity to do this thing, right? So what would I do? What would I say? To take this course. And I had the money, you know, and I was going to take the course, but I was kind of like, I want to keep the money, I don't want to take the course, blah, 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 whatever. I didn't take the course. A year ago today is when I didn't take the course, and I see what didn't happen because I didn't do that. Right. So it's like, oh, if I would have done it when I knew I needed to do it, I wouldn't be on this other side of the whatever, looking like, damn, I should have did that. I should have taken advantage of that timing. I should have listened to myself. It's no more shoulda, woulda, coulda. The time is now.
The time is now.
Right now.
The time is now.
And not rushing. Not being impulsive. Not being impulsive, but being passionate and being driven and being intentional, like you said, and being focused.
Which is my whole point of rejuvenating, is being able to make choices from a healthy state, though. You know what I mean? Like
a whole state.
Because you can choose anything at any time, all the time. Out of
fear, out of anxiety. Yeah.
Fear, you know what I'm saying? Like love or fear. And that's really what I think the driving factors are. You know what I mean? With every choice, you choose life or death. You know what I mean? You choose love or fear with every choice, right? I think. But me rejuvenating for me is like being able to make every choice out of love, whether that's for me, whether that's for somebody else, you know what I'm saying, or for something else. It's like that's the type of time that I want to be on. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at, type shit.
How do you stay on that timing? Like, even like if you are feeling scared or afraid or whatever, and you need to make a decision.
Right.
How do you ground? I know for me, sometimes I put my hand on my heart and just ground into like, okay, so who is speaking right now? If I feel like I gotta do this thing or I can't do this thing, okay, is it like I really shouldn't do that? Is that the intuition telling me I shouldn't do that, or is that the fear? Being able to know who's who, because we talked earlier about the voice inside your head, and sometimes it's a hater, sometimes it's a fan, and sometimes it's really afraid, right? So we talk about the ego, and a lot of people talk about killing the ego, and I think that's just extremely problematic, because the only way that we're able to experience this experience is with the ego. The only way that you're able to come through the way that you come through with the music is because you are partnered harmoniously with your ego. So we talk about making these decisions from a whole space. I'm not advocating for killing your ego. I'm advocating for being in harmonious relationship with all the parts of you, your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? So we're talking about making those decisions from those whole places.
Exactly.
But like in real time, what is that like, being able to do that? What is that like for you? What is some advice that you could share, or a practice or something that you could share with somebody who desires that and is working on integrating that?
I feel like definitely meditating is one. Whether you meditate, whether you pray, whether you listen to music, whether you go on a walk, whatever you do to give yourself a peace of mind, to me, that is meditation. Whatever you do to give yourself a peace of mind, right? Sometimes it is just being still. For me, it has become working out. It has become just trying to tap into yoga a little bit. Sometimes it is just taking a walk. That's the physical thing that I do. But it's also, like I said, going back to the self-talk, to tell myself that, like, sometimes in making a choice, I don't have to know what the right choice is. Ain't no right or wrong, right? Sometimes you do just have to go through the process. Like, it's a feeling process. Sometimes you just got to make the decision, and you have to just live with whatever is on the other side of it. And so it's just it's me having to, like, be realistic about what control I do have and what I don't have. You know what I mean? Like, I got enough control to, like, you know, choose the type of food that I like want, but it might not be in the timing that I want it, type shit, right?
Yeah.
So just going back to that whole, as far as like the daily practices, coming to food, being mindful of what I do eat, you know what I mean?
What you're consuming.
Exactly. Like, I prefer to be plant-based. I feel like that's probably like what niggas, like what we should be on, just from the fact of living from the earth.
And other things do with your consumption that you share with me that I'm like, oh, that's an amazing thing that you're doing. Like, I'm gonna do it. But like, you stop drinking, you stop smoking, you stop consuming things that weren't in alignment with where you want to go.
Facts.
And it took discipline to be able to do that, right? So can you talk about those things?
Just from my perspective, it was becoming too poisonous for me at the time. I think it's poison in general for all of us if we keeping it hot. But for me at the time of where I am and like where I'm trying to go with my growth, it's something that like I had to goddamn just chill on. I don't have a craving for it anymore, so I can't say some nigga be like, damn, you gonna go back type shit. I can't see it for myself. You know what I mean? Who knows? I might fuck around and take a shot at some point in time.
Do you feel like that about me? Like, I don't.
What?
Like
me?
Yeah. Like,
nah, like I don't see it.
For that?
The changes that I've made about, like, as far as consumption is concerned, I don't think there's no going back. I think there comes a time where, like I said, when it's all in unison, you realizing why you did what you did and the necessity of that. Like, I know how I feel from not consuming meat, from not consuming alcohol, from not consuming like weed and shit. You know what I mean? Like, in the ways that I was doing it before. So it's like, I feel like that's all it comes down to, because it's really not about somebody telling you what to do or what not to do. You have to just do shit for yourself, and then you determine like if this works for you or not. You know what I mean? I know people who like may not eat meat but smoke and drink or whatever, and if it works for you, it works for you. I can't determine what your spirituality and what your discipline is like in your own life, but I know for me, you know what I'm saying, and like for people that have made some of the similar decisions as me, it's like we able to be on the same train of thought just when it comes to the effects of it. And like I said, I'm on a serious path of getting to some shit right now, and that's what's part of the path. You know what I mean? And I fuck with it. I love it. I don't see it changing. I ain't trying to change it. You know what I mean? I can't be distracted. You know what I mean? Of course, you still had them times where it's like, damn, like as far as going out and shit and trying to figure out. Like, I replace drinking with ginger ale and shit. I'm gonna have too many ginger ale cups type shit. But and even in that token though, it's still like I'm still mindful of what I want. That's all it come down to. Mindful of what the fuck you want. You know?
And keeping your eyes like on that.
Yeah, being focused. Being focused. Yeah.
Something that you said about the cause, when you initially introduced the concept of cost benefit analysis, I was thinking of my own experience and just how I get distracted or deterred, or what do you call it when you're feeling like you don't want to do the thing? The words, they're escaping me like the leaves falling from these trees right now.
I think it is just young poet out here. I think just distracted.
Discouraged, when I feel discouraged, right? And I think a really important thing that I saw myself doing and was able to take from that is like keeping the benefit at the forefront. Not focusing. I have to focus on the cost. I know what the benefit is, but I'm like, damn, that shit cost me. And then I'm like giving it in a stingy way. I'm getting up to do the run, but I'm not really, you know what I mean? Right. I'm hyper focused on the cost. I'm not really focusing my attention on the benefit. But I feel like,
which is human to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not. It don't work for me.
When you overly, it's like being overly focused on it. Because I think preparing, you taking into account what the cost is, right? Just preparing. But when I'm overly focused on it, now I'm putting too much energy there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting enough energy in the long term or whatever the fuck I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
the
I don't
balance,
think it's,
like
exactly, it's balance. I don't think it's a bad thing to focus on the cost, but are you worried?
Yeah.
Though, you know what I mean?
Worry free. Because you have
to. About that.
So that's the whole big old thing, right? I was like in a hermit mode, just to myself, right? But I didn't realize how much I was disassociating, because I was smoking a lot of weed during that too, right? So I was literally disassociating. I didn't like the life that I was living. Gotcha. I didn't like the external circumstances that I didn't have any control over. I'm going to do my own thing, and what I could do is get really high and pretend that none of this shit's going on, or whatever the fuck I thought I was doing. I don't know what I thought I was doing. I was high, right? So...
Wow. Wildin'.
Really wildin', because I was hyper